Hello and welcome to the hotspot. My name is Webb on this first day of July, of course, the first live of this month. And let me put this right for you as let's get into it because this day has been full of so much. First of all, David De Gea is officially not a Manchester United player. Andre Onana's bid is still taking its time. It's on total space, whereas we do get reports now from Italy, and I will be talking more about those, that Rasmus Højlund's bid has also been placed in and it has been rejected. These are sources from Italy. They are decent sources, not 100% credible, but I will be giving you details about that. My name is Webb. Welcome to the hotspot, and we're here again to burn you with the hottest news concerning Manchester United. Subscribe. It is a Saturday, and I'm hoping this time around I will be chilled and all, laid back and slouch in this chair and just give you the updates and, of course, my opinions about everything going on. But, well, it's, I think, intense, whereas it's a weekend, it's a bit intense this side, and I'm sure I'm going to keep it as intense as it is because it has been full of so many speculations and news. Guys, go on and subscribe. And let's talk Man United now at length because there is so much to dig into now. Starting it off with the latest that is coming through. It is a report coming through from one Corey in Italy. Now, guys, Italian sources can be confusing sometimes. At times, they can give you good, credible news. At times they can, sort of give you news that seems to be intended to push a specific agenda because, as we know, they do collaborate a lot with their journalists to try and push an agenda. But you don't want to refute at this point in time, at this stage of the window. You don't want to go silent on any speculation. I remember the first time we had speculations that Andre Onana was now wanted by Man United. Many people went out and rebuffed them. But I was thinking, yeah, some of these sources can actually mean what they're saying. So the news source, one Corey, he's got about 2.7 million followers on Twitter. So that's fairly decent. Now, the report is that Rasmus Højlund, United have tabled a bid for Rasmus Højlund, and it has been rejected. And this bid was way too low. I think it's reported to be a bid of about 45 million euros, which is quite low, I think. Well, this is the bid that the report is saying. But whether it is true or not, I think what we know for a fact is that Manchester United is interested in a striker. I think that is one. We know for a fact that after sealing the first priority for Eric Ten Hag, Mason Mount, United had to move on to either a goalkeeper or a striker. And like I've been saying, if you ask me, I think United is only going to sign 3 players in this summer. This paid for only 3 at most, if not 2. If issues to do with money don't fail the whole plan, because right now I think United are dealing with their 3rd or 4th plan. They are not dealing with plan A or plan B because of the lack of funds. So clearly I do think the mostly 3 players. So the striker is one of those. So that is why, first of all, the report from sources that has just broken can be true, and this is from Italy. And remember, Rasmus Højlund plays for Atalanta. That's a team that plays in Italy. So that is one. 2, we know for a fact, and I've been telling you this for the longest time, that United have decided, Eric Ten Hag sanctioned this bid to go ahead. It has just been a case of priorities, but also they have been having conversations, closed conversations with the club that is with Atalanta before they came in to table an official bid. So they have been having the conversations before they came in officially to table an official bid. The conversations have been going on between Manchester United and Atalanta. So it's possible, again, like I've just been telling you, I think in the past weeks, about the talks going on between Inter Milan and Manchester United over Andre Onana. So again, we are trying to dig and go around this report that has come through from sources in Italy that United has had a bid for Rasmus Højlund rejected. So it can be true in every way because this is the player United are clearly interested in. In fact, if you ask me, I think Højlund will be signed by Man United, whereas Atalanta will reject bids and hike the player and all, or try to overprice him. I think they will eventually realize that United doesn't have so much money to spend. They will come down and sell to Manchester United. There are not so many big clubs, jostling for his signature. In any case, the player wants to join Manchester United. Well, so for me, I do think this report can be true. It may not be true, but regardless, Højlund is a player United is interested in, and it will be a matter of time that they go ahead and table a bid. But guys, I do welcome you aboard as we go on, because this is going to be long. Brian Mann saying Van der Sar, who did wonders, left the club. How can De Gea not leave the club? Well. Sheldon Nicole saying blessings to all. Listen, Brian Mann, now no one says David De Gea cannot leave Manchester United, but it is the manner in which he's leaving. I think Van der Sar did not leave in the manner David De Gea is leaving. Do you know that David De Gea has spent more time at Manchester United than Van der Sar and Peter Schmeichel, the greatest goalkeepers United has had? He's a legend in every right, and I'll talk about De Gea a bit more, perhaps later on. Let me not go there yet. Sheldon Nicole says blessings to all, blessings indeed, saying we would go with him, young and strong. Also, he has an eye for goal. Without a doubt, he's young. He's got an eye for goal. He's promising. He's left-footed. There's hope in him, but he's not world class. There is no guarantee that he will become world class. So you cannot be pricing him highly. You cannot be overpricing a player who has got a lot to prove. He has got a long way to go in terms of becoming a world class player. So for me, that's my disquiet. For me, the disquiet is clubs have realized now that United perhaps are gullible. They can, you can go and rip them off easily. The way Chelsea ripped us off when it came to Mason Mount. So even other clubs now who have probably even players who are more promising are also feeling if United flatter us like they want our player, we will go all the way up and hike to the highest possible price. But I think they'll realize that, and I think, by the way, to give credit to John Mata and Richard Arnold, the club CEO, they have actually, as if started waking up. They no longer want to sign players on crazy, first of all, for crazy amounts. They also don't want to give players crazy salaries, because it doesn't work. Then it makes it difficult for you to sell. Look at the players United is stuck with. Jadon Sancho is earning £350,000 per week. You want to sell him, he has failed to perform for the 2 years he's been at United. Who is going to buy him and pay him even half of that salary, those wages? No one is going to buy him and pay him half of those wages. So if you pay players a lot of money, in case it doesn't work and you need them to go, even loaning them is expensive. So United is stuck with a whole lot of bunch of players who are not contributing to the team, but they are on high wages. No one can take them. So the players are okay. They're like, okay, let me stand and earn my money until you find an option, a suitable option, then I'll go. So that's an issue. So I think they have learned now the hard way, and they are no longer giving players crazy salaries. And that's why they actually are planning to introduce a salary cap at United. It will be official that no player can earn above this. And that's the cleaning I think Erik ten Hag is trying to do. And you want to give him that kind of credit. He has an eye for goal indeed, Sheldon. I do believe he does, but he's still promising. He has got a long way to go. There is more for him to learn. So it's early days for him to feel like he's the finished article that Atalanta can want the earlier reported 70 million euros for him. Aremu Johnson, what is the latest on Onana, and is United signing only one keeper? Thank you. Of course, I'm going to give you now. Now let me give you the latest on Onana. So the latest on Andre Onana, there is a rumor that has just come up, by the way, that apparently Manchester United, because of financial fair play, cannot pay for Onana. And this rumor, of course, this report again from Italy, was suggesting that that Inter Milan do want 60 million pounds, which I think is wrong. I think they want about 50 million plus add-ons, which goes to about 42 or 43 million pounds, include plus add-ons. But this report is saying that United are failing. They have bowed out of Onana, and they are now looking at other options. And of course, there was mention of the final goalkeeper, and of course, all the other goalkeepers will be linked to. It seems though that United have given up completely on Diego Costa, certainly because of money. Perhaps we have, like I've been telling you, we've got 120 million to spend. 60 has already gone for Mason Mount. We have 60. We are yet to sell a single player, yet we need to sell to be able to top up and buy more expensive players. So it's a tricky situation, and that's why everything we are doing now, again, is trials. There are scenarios, I think, are so many. In the event that United fails to sell a player, then it means if we are going to buy Onana, we will have to either pay agree on a payment plan that's feasible for United. Either pay 30 million, then we pay the others, or the other of a period of 18 months or thereabout, then have a remainder of a 30 million which you can first pay to Atalanta for Højlund, because certainly a goalkeeper and a striker are priorities. So if you've got 60 left, in the event that no one comes to buy Fred and Scott McTominay and all these other Jadon Sanchos who are up for sale, then United has got to find ways of making it work with the remaining 60 million of the 120 that's already there to spend. So it's tricky. So it means you've either got to get players that you can get, but agree on a payment plan that fits within what you can do. And again, that's a bit tricky, because clubs these days, every club wants money. Because of financial fair play, every club wants money. They need the cash. The reason why I think it should have been Arsenal or Man City first failed with their initial bid with to West Ham for Declan Rice was because of the payment plan. It's important. Some clubs will even want the whole money at once, the whole batch of cash at once, because clubs need to make ends meet. It's tight out there. Yet the game is becoming too expensive lately. The wages are high and all, so it's becoming tight. So United, in the situation we are in, we don't really. It will be difficult for United to attract, first of all, players from top clubs that need their money, need their cash. We would want to go to players with whom we can negotiate, and that's why for most of these signings we are trying to make, there's a lot of back and forth. Even with Onana, there's a lot of back and forth, because the cash is not there per se. It's not there. We know what the players we want, but the cash is not there, and that's why we dropped from priority number 1 in terms of our transfer plan to probably priority plan C now. I don't think Onana was in plan A. I don't think Erik ten Hag wanted to sign Andre Onana from the onset. He was not in plan A. Plan A was Kim Min-jae, a striker, probably Harry Kane, or Victor Osimhen. He probably wanted Mason Mount from way back. Plan A was never Onana in the picture. He was never there. So it shows you that I think things are now, we're just patching things up. But that's the situation the club is in. So the gentleman here is asking for the latest on Onana. So the latest, there was that rumor, but I think what's imminent is that he's going to be joining United. That's a fact. The two clubs met and agreed, but United had to table a bid. Now that bid is expected to go in either later today. It could even go in as I'm speaking here live, and if it does, I will know and I'll give you that quick update. But that bid is expected to go in anytime, either today or this week. That's tomorrow. Because United could not bid for Onana, because David De Gea was still there. He was still contracted, and his contract, stipulated that he has got to be the number 1 for as long as he's fit. So if you're bringing Onana, who you want to be a number 1, when this contract is still running, it doesn't make sense. It's unprofessional. So now that De Gea is out of contract officially, guys, David De Gea is no longer a Man United player. Man United are hoping after his wedding this weekend they can call him and talk to him again and see if they can convince him to stay around as a number 2. But again, that will depend on him. Right now he's a free agent. It is reported that his agents are looking for options around Europe, but Saudi Arabia is of course an assured option there, because clubs in Saudi Arabia are willing to pay even, I think, meet his wages that he has been earning at Man United. So that's a bit of the situation to do with the goalkeeping. So here we are waiting to see what will happen when he's done with his wedding. That's happening this weekend. So but he's no longer a United player. So in your conversations, you should not even dwell so much on the here. For now, the ball is in his court. It's more about him than about the club. It's him accepting that you've frustrated me, and you're now begging me to stay around and not get a club because you want to see if you fail on your options, you come for me. How selfish that is of United. But I was listening to, and there's someone here in the comments who was saying if Van der Sar could leave. This is Brian Mann. Yes, to come back to you, Brian, like I promised. I think we are football fans. We want the team to win. But of course, I do believe we've also got to have a certain level of fairness. I think David De Gea is not any other player. There are not so many players who come to Man United and play for 12 consecutive seasons, starting in between the sticks, or starting all games consistently like De Gea has been. Even when United, after Sir Alex Ferguson left, when United was struggling, United was dwelling on 2 individual players, David De Gea and at times Pogba, when he had a good game. De Gea and a bit of Bruno Fernandes in the past few seasons when Fernandes joined. When everyone else was out of sorts, David De Gea was saving United. He has been consistent, so professional. You don't think that if he has even ended the last season as the best goalkeeper in the Premier League. Now, whereas he's not the Eric Ten Hag style of goalkeeper, it does not take away the great he has done, winning, I think, what is it, 4 Premier League titles? So it does not take away the greatness, his greatness, because things are not okay, because the new manager doesn't see him in his plans. So you don't treat him like a unwanted used product. I don't think so. Even when you switch car tires. Today I just went and changed my car tires today, but I felt I had to be nice on the tire I was replacing. Even a used car tire, you have some feeling for it. That's fairness. I mean, you don't just abandon a player who has been there for 12 seasons and you're just letting go of them like they are nothing. It sends bad signals to even the other players you'd want to attract to your club, because if you cannot treat honorably a player who has served you for 12 seasons, then what will happen if I come to you, if I am the French guy, Rabiot, who refused to leave Juventus and join United for free? What will happen if I come and things don't work? What would you do to me? So, whereas yes, people have got to earn their money, and no one says David De Gea shouldn't earn his money. I think he should leave honorably if he has to leave, and which I think is the right thing for him to do. And more so right now, given the situation, he has got to leave, but he has got to leave with honor, and the club has got to give him that treat. Now that's the culture of the big club, a big institution, that your legends are treated like so. Legend is vindicated by how you live. If you're a legend at a place, you see how good, how big. Unless you people sit here and say that David De Gea is not a legend at Man United, and I would be shocked if anyone said that. But if you think he's a legend, he should live like a legend. That's the fact for me. It won't change the fact that he's not an Eric Ten Hag kind of goalkeeper or whatever, but he should be. And Rio Ferdinand put it right. He should be shaking hands with everyone as he leaves, because that has been his home. I don't know how many of you have worked at a single place for 12 years. That's like a lifetime. That boy joined the club when he was 20, I think 20 or 21. So now he's a man. He's even getting married today. He has been earning all that. I mean, that's home for him. You don't just dispose him of like nothing, like an unwanted used product. So for me, that's where the issue is. So Brian Mann, who is saying Van der Sar, who did wonders, left the club. How can De Gea not? No one is saying De Gea can't leave, but how does he leave? That's the whole point. We are Man United. We are supposed to show class, have class in how we do things. The other clubs watch what United does and try to emulate and get inspired and stuff. So I don't think for me it is right. There is any justification for De Gea to leave the way he's being treated. It's bad. Aremu Johnson, or let's go to Anolina Liguma first. Højlund is a second striker to me, in my opinion. He's not the target man. He's not the main man. Like I was saying, Eric Ten Hag is not executing Plan A. This should be like Plan C or even Plan D. Plan A was have a world-class striker and someone younger to come and learn from the world-class striker. He was even clear he didn't want to gamble. He didn't want to take risks on the striking role. That's why he's taking his time, by the way. He sees it. He knows that the first priority for the club should be a striker. But he cannot only sign a striker. But he also says, I want to sign the right striker for the right fee. Now, the right striker is an issue because the world-class strikers are crazy expensive. Now, Højlund is Plan B, but Plan B is being overpriced. So, what do you do if you're Ten Hag? Do you sit back and wait for Atalanta to come to their senses, or Daniel Levy to say, okay, give me 50 million pounds for Harry Kane, who's left with a year on his contract? No. You go on about the other business you need to sort, as you hope that maybe you can sell someone, get the money. I think Ten Hag is trying to buy time to get the funds that can finance the purchase of his main problem, the purchase of his main solution for the striking role. Now, there are no guarantees considering the lack of, the lack of effort when it comes to trying to sell these players from the people who should be the football director, John Mata and Richard Arnold, and of course their incompetence when it comes to doing business like this. So there is no guarantee that the money will come. Now, if it doesn't, that's where the trick will be. Then they have got to go into deep negotiation with these clubs, the likes of Inter Milan, the likes of Atalanta, to find a payment plan for them to get these players from them. So it's a bit tricky. It's still a long transfer window for Man United, guys. It's not done, but at least you can say at least we've got one foot in the right direction. The fact that already Mason Mount is done and he seems to be a top priority for the manager. Aremu Johnson, I think I've answered you. Ebonila, easy, Amlet bro, a bid of how much is rejected on Højlund? Well, there was talk. Again, like I was saying, this report is coming through from Italy, and the source, Corinne, has a following of close to 2.7 million people on Twitter, so that's fairly decent. And like I say, the Italian sources can be accurate. Of course, Fabrizio Romano is Italian, and he's the king of transfers, but also they can be used by clubs to push their agenda. It's very possible that a club like Atalanta can use a journalist to try and push Manchester United to make a quick bid. They have done this before. Italy, we know how Italians operate. That's why they are called Italian mafias and what. That's how they operate. So it wouldn't be a surprise if this rumor is not true, but it can also be true because the player in question is a player we clearly know United is interested in, but also we also know that United is about to bid. This bid has been long overdue, so it's extremely possible. And United want to move fast. Remember, preseason is like a week away now, and Erik ten Hag has been clear that he wants to go into preseason with a fully constituted squad. So he's trying to do things fast. That's why he wanted the Mason Mount deal to be over and done with, last week. It's done now. Onana will be done in less than before the end of this week. That I can guarantee you. Onana will be done. This rumor that is coming through that United is failing on the money, I don't want to give it a lot of attention. I think they agreed, the two parties agreed, and it's a matter of United tabling the bid, which should happen this week. They have been waiting because of the contract with David De Gea, but also the David De Gea situation is still not solved. Whereas he's no longer a United player, Man United want to talk to him and try to convince him to stay as a number 2, which is again is going to be a tricky thing to happen, guys. That's where we are. But you can go on, guys. You can as well drop in, of course, your questions. Keep letting them keep pouring in the questions as we do go on. I also remind you can become a member so that you get the exclusive news fast, if you know what I mean. So you can become a member, you know what to do. Of course, you've got all the tools as well, the super stickers and everything you need now for you to be a special member of the hotspot, because like I said, this community is just growing and it's going to be big and massive. Now let's talk about guys, and I've been thinking hard about the whole Manchester United team and how it is likely to look next season. Of course, now we probably know for a fact that we know how the midfield is going to look. We certainly know Man United is not going to be signing another midfielder. It's not going to happen. I think it will be a shock, a pleasant shock. The talk of Caicedo and what, I think let's first bury that for now. I think Caicedo will go to Chelsea, but because Chelsea actually need Caicedo a lot because they have been buying mostly wide players, attacking midfielders, and players who play from wide, letting go of the people in the middle of the park, the holding midfielders. They can't play like that. So certainly they are so intent on signing Caicedo. But also, if United take their time, and this is what I told in the last video I posted, that there was a bit of panic because Morata, who is the CEO of Inter Milan, came out and confirmed to Sky, I think it was yesterday night, that they haven't received a bid, an official bid from Man United for Onana, and yet they expected it like soonest. But like I tried to explain to you why probably United had not yet tabled the bid, because David De Gea's contract only expired last night, Friday night. So they should be expected to table the bid at the earliest, and the earliest should have been today. By now it probably should be in, because De Gea's contract expired almost perhaps 15 or so hours ago. So, but perhaps because it's a weekend, they are maybe taking their time, they are planning maybe to table the bid on Monday. But Morata confirmed that they haven't received the bid. Now, that is a signal, because Inter Milan wants money. They want to buy Romelu Lukaku. They actually tabled a funny bid of £7 million for Lukaku. Chelsea, I think, rates him at close to 50 million euros or thereabout. So Milan want money. They need money. So they are hoping that United move fast. Now, if United doesn't, and Chelsea, we know, need a second goalkeeper. After losing Eduardo Mendy, Chelsea have got to replace Mendy. They're not going to play the entire season with Kepa Arrizabalaga, whereas Pochettino confirmed he will be his number one. They're not going to play the entire season with him. So United has got to move fast. Otherwise, we'll be in a scenario where Manchester United is losing out another top target, a long-term target in Onana. It's very possible if they don't move fast to go on and table a bid. So it's very possible. But also, someone spoke about the other goalkeeper. I told you about the young goalkeeper, Justin Bijlow. So Manchester United, it is understood by, this is a report by Laurie Whitewell, who has reported that Manchester United have contacted Feyenoord about the possible signing of that young goalkeeper. That is from Feyenoord. This is a report that first came out yesterday. I think I gave it to you last night if you were on. But it is still moving on. So I think now United are beginning to realize that they have completely lost David De Gea. That is why they are looking for a plan B. Because certainly Dean Henderson is not much in the plans of Eric Ten Hag. He's not your ball playing goalkeeper. Certainly Tom Heaton, with his experience, is old. He's needed a bit to start around, but he's not one goalkeeper you're going to rely on for a while. You need someone who is going to give Onana competition. So they are looking at some of these young options to come in and try to give them that. So the report that has just come in here that United is looking at that Feyenoord young goalkeeper Bijlow. And we are waiting to see what goes on with that. So there's lots of players United is being linked with, but what we know is that the club is out of money. There is no money at Man United. That is why I don't understand why, if they have to vend players, I don't understand why Richard Arnold, who spent millions and millions on flights in Europe trying to sign Frank de Jong and they failed, now is the time they need to justify, I think, any expenditure on flights and all, because they need to vend players. They let them go to Saudi Arabia if they have to, or to Qatar or wherever, and try to vend these players to raise the money that can go ahead and finance the right the right signings. But it's a very difficult place that Manchester United is in. So it's going to be difficult. This is it's a game of chess, guys. It's a game of chess, and it's not by mistake that I've got these chess pieces here. I don't know how many of you play chess. It's not by mistake. Football is like chess. If you're a manager, you're playing chess. It's a game of chess. So it's becoming tighter. We are, I think, pushing to the end game. In chess, they call it the end game. So we are in the end game, and this is a good test. Good players are judged by how they perform in the end game. So the end game is you've got a little money, few pieces left on your board, pawns maybe, and of course your king is always there. So you've got a pawn and a knight. So with that you can still do something, but you've got to be so smart. You've got 3 pawns and a knight. Your opponent has got a rook and 5 pawns. So you can still compete with them. So that's where we are. We are in an interesting end game if it's a game of chess. But we hope they get up on top. Now, of course, discussions with the targets will determine whether the next recruit will be a forward or a goalkeeper. The cost of players will influence the choice for the club now. For now, Manchester United are prioritizing a new centre forward. This is according to Rory Whitewell. Now, this is again why I'm telling you. Whitewell is from the Athletic, and by the way, the Athletic has broken some big stories in this window. So they are quite credible. So these are again reports we are getting. Someone still was asking about, of course, a player saying Man FC are open to offers for Fred after agreeing with Mason Mount. Club is looking for £20 million from Fulham is interested. Now, this is according to Fred. I think we reported that weeks ago here on the hotspot. So it's a tricky situation. Like I shared in a certain video before, and if you missed it, guys, you can look for it. The sell to buy video where I explained exactly the situation. I told you how United has got little money, and they have been forced to a situation where they have got to sell players if they are going to buy the players they need. But the time is moving so fast and no one is being sold. So it's difficult now. it's a tricky situation for you to beat Ten Hag. I think if there's one person you don't want to be right now, it's Eric Ten Hag. It's a very tricky situation. Arem Johnson, okay, I think I read this. Ebonila, okay, Anolin Aliguma, we need Casemiro backup. This position is key. Webb, tell me who can best fit as a backup for Casemiro apart from Caicedo or Rice. I think the easiest one, easily, no brainer for me should have been Romeo Lavia, and I felt like he was uneasy, to be honest, uneasy, buy. Southampton is relegated. He's a promising young player. He's good. He's decent. He can actually start games alongside Casemiro. He's that good. Yet he's so young. But for some reason, United chooses to spend all the time in the world on Mason Mount. Eventually get him for a rip-off fee. And right now we don't seem to be progressing. We are having talks with players and their agents, and you see why I'm not exactly. I will not exactly refute the reports coming through right now concerning Onana and all, and the possible, of course, failure of United to sign him and all. It's because this is the same situation we are in with Kim Min-jae. We are too advanced with Kim Min-jae, but somehow, because of reasons we are beginning to figure out now, somehow we lost out on Kim Min-jae, and we didn't even try to put on a fight. We just let go of a top priority, because Ten Hag's top priority in terms of a transfer window was a centre-back, Kim Min-jae, Mason Mount probably, then a striker, and a second younger striker. Those are the 4 players he wanted to sign this summer. Or Mason Mount perhaps might not have been on his plan, but maybe Rabiot for free. He was hoping he would get Rabiot, because even last summer he wanted him, but he has failed to even get Rabiot. So the whole disorganization concerning United's window is causing panic, but also the panic is raising a lot of speculations on what's going to happen. Yet the other clubs we are competing with are moving. So you can imagine how difficult it will be for United to go into this pre-season forecast and try to put their players put their heads together and play football. It's going to be, I think, quite a bit of havoc for inevitably. Arem, what is happening to Ken? Is United still signing him? I don't think so. United, I think, gave up on Ken long time ago. Bayern, and even Ken seems to have agreed that he wants to go to Bayern. I think Bayern is in the lead. Unless something happens, we sell 4 of the players we want out and we raise the money, maybe then we can have the confidence to go and bid for Harry Kane. But if we can't even bid for Osimhen, if we can have a bid for Højlund rejected, how do we expect United to bid for Harry Kane? I think it's impossible. Knowing who Daniel Levy is, we can't. And the fact that he doesn't want to sell to an English club, again, I think for Kane, we can easily say now, for now, let's put that Kane conversation to bed. The prospect of signing a forward is why one-on-one talks are planned with David De Gea once he returns to England. If Man United sign a forward and the club doesn't have money, let me get this for you, guys. I do want to read these updates for you. So the prospect of signing a forward is why one-on-one talks are planned with David De Gea once he returns to England. If Man United sign a forward, the club may not be able to sign a number 1. Again, this is Laurie Whitehall from The Athletic. Guys, we go on. I'm giving you these reports as they come in, so that in case things happen, you know where you heard it from first. Guys, go on and subscribe if you haven't, and let's, of course, go on and enjoy. I'm excited to see who the first member of the hotspot will be. I'm quite excited. I'm waiting for that person, because we got membership tools yesterday, so I'm excited to see how it works. Guy Whittle saying Man United is following Real Madrid footsteps of disrespecting legendary players, and that's terrible. But I think Madrid changed a bit. They no longer do that. You saw how they sent off Karim Benzema. I think any player would have wanted such a send-off. Barcelona, other clubs try to honor legends, but for some reason, United, and I don't know whether Eric Ten Hag has got anything to do with this, because like I've said before, we saw how they treated Cristiano Ronaldo. Regardless what he did, I think Ronaldo is a legend that deserved a certain level of respect. You can't be a manager however good you are. You can't be a manager at a club and you don't respect their legends, it's wrong. It's wrong. It can never, it's not sustainable. However good you are, the moment things go bad, people will forget about the good times, and they will come for you. How far with Randall Colomwani to United? I don't think it's happening, to be honest. If they are the one striker United is focused on now is Rasmus Højlund. I don't think Colomwani is to United is happening. He's overly priced. He's priced at about 86 million pounds, 100 million euros according to Frankfurt. That's their valuation of the player. Even 60 million pounds is too much. United can't afford that. But also, he's a young player as well. He's, I think, just about 24. Whereas he almost scored a winning goal in the World Cup. He's not world class yet to be at that level. So I don't think United should even be thinking about him. Okay, who else? Guy Whittle, Man United is okay. I think I responded to this. Whittle, Guy Whittle is saying buying Mount instead of a quality keeper and striker will haunt Man United. They can't buy both after buying Mount. They have to sell first, and no one is interested in guys like Sancho and Maguire. Thank you. You're right on the money. Exactly what I was saying. I wonder what Mount will add to the United team. I still try right now. I'm yet to find someone who will tell me or let me know the problem that Mount is solving for United, because United has got problems in all departments. I wonder which problem Mount is solving. But probably he's the player that Ten Hag feels will give the United midfield his identity. Probably. That's so playing close to Casemiro and then Bruno Fernandes as a number 10, maybe trying to form that holy grail. But you see, shall we ever replace Paul Scholes? Shall United ever have a Paul Scholes? Will that ever happen? Could Mason Mount be our Paul Scholes? Or is that sacrilege? Guys, let me know. Could Mason Mount become, because since Paul Scholes retired, I don't think United has got a single player, midfielder, close to Paul Scholes. I think the only the only player who has tried to play to the levels of Paul Scholes, I think, in Manchester has been only one player, the ginger-haired magician. There was only one ginger-haired magician in Manchester, Paul Scholes, but now there are only two, and the other one is in the blue half of Manchester, Kevin De Bruyne. So I do wonder whether Mason Mount will finally be the one who will Mason will climb the mountain. I do hope. Oh, Beckham is falling. Sorry, legend. So guys, give me your opinion. Benson Mabali Daka, let Højlund become a United player. We hope he does, but for the right fee. And I think he will become a United player without a doubt. Ebonila, have we signed Mount? Mount is due for a medical this week. It should be happening, I think, on Monday. His medical should be taking place on Monday. So Mount is done. That one is here we go. They can't buy both. Okay, we can't sell a single player, and our guys can't vend players as well. So we are there. We are stuck with our, unwanted players. Well, that's where we are. Samuel Taora, how far is Ken to United? It's not happening. I would be surprised, pleasantly surprised if it happened. And you see, imagine, Ken was never even my first priority of a striker. I was always for Victor Osimhen. But where we are now, if we signed Ken, guys, I would dance for you here. And I think I've got some good dance moves in me. I would dance for you here if we signed Harry Kane, because that would be, I think, the best news for our summer. That would be the best news, because I still think we'll sign a striker, but most likely it's going to be Rasmus Højlund, like 95% or even more. I think it's Rasmus Højlund. We don't have, with the money talk going on that we may not even afford to buy a goalkeeper and stuff. I don't think we are going to sign Ken. We don't have that money. We are now looking at other options. Justin Bijlow is the man we are talking about now for a goalkeeper, because Onana as well seems to be too expensive for United. How the mighty fall. Samuel Taora said, Man United must stop being slow in buying players. Yes, we are slow, and somehow we don't learn. We don't learn at all. I don't know exactly what's happening. The longer you take, the best players are taken, and United should be signing the best players. But the longer you take without making bids, without signing these players, then the more you lose. You'll be forced to sign rejects or players who have no one interested. So I think that's a bit of the situation. But the thing is, what it seems now, again, we are back in the sell to buy situation, that who we sign next might depend on how much money we've made in sales. That's according to what's coming in, again, from the Athletic. That who we sign next, that's why we are pointing at so many players. We know the players we want probably by now, but we have talks and we don't move. Because I'm assuming if the money was there, to be honest, we would have moved already, and today the bid for Onana would have been in. The bid for Rasmus Højlund would have been in. But we are placing funny bids, very little bids and stuff which cannot be accepted by anyone, obviously. So I think the money situation is serious. We need to sell players, but who is even selling them? No one is vending them. So that's where we are, Sami Taura. It's sad, isn't it? Ebonila, we might sign De Jong at the later stages of the window. If not, the best bet shall be both teams to score. The best bet for United shall be both teams to score. If we don't sign certain players, we will be leaking goals, but scoring as well. Interesting one. That's an interesting one. Thank you, Ebonila. But guys, so if you picture this United team, and let's be realistic, this window is going to end up with, let's say, we have Onana in goal. I strongly believe we are going to sign a goalkeeper, and it's going to be Onana, because Onana is not so expensive. He's not so expensive. He's affordable. We can sign Onana if we do want to sign a goalkeeper. Because we already messed up David De Gea. And Onana will change a lot, by the way. Even if we signed Onana, even if we don't get a central defender, I think it would work, because he adds to the back line. I've not seen so many good ball-playing goalkeepers like Onana. And that's why he fell out with his coach, Rigobert Song, in the World Cup. Because for him, his style is that. He wants to play the ball from the back. That's him. Now, Songo doesn't want that. African coaches wouldn't really appreciate that kind of football. It brings a lot of pressure to your team. But the way Ten Hag plays is not so different, of course, from how Klopp or Pep Guardiola want to play. And that's why you saw in the Champions League final, Inter Milan were never pressed. It would be so risky for Man City, and we know how they can press the backline and the goalkeeper. It would be so risky for them to try and press Onana, because of how good he is with the ball. If he's good at making saves, but also good with his feet and so fast. So if you press him so high, if you press him a lot, in the event that ball doesn't go in and he gets it, you're done. You're done. He can start initiate an attack in microseconds. So that's how dangerous he is, and that's exactly what Ten Hag wants. And by the way, that's where English football has gone now. Remember, English football is still so direct, of course, but the directness is a bit different. It's not the one route two. You hit the ball, comes. The directness is initiated from behind, and you want to find your quickest pass. Even Man City, whereas they pass the ball the way Pep Guardiola teams would do, they don't pass it the way Pep used to do it with Barcelona, where they tick-tack and dilly-dally around the place. They pass it, but with directness to it. Now, you need a goalkeeper so much in that kind of build-up. So, Onana will certainly come in and tick all the boxes for Erik Ten Hag. So, I think they are serious on signing him. The talks are advanced. They have agreed. It's a matter of tabling the bid. What has been halting it was the contract that David De Gea had. De Gea, for now, he's not a Man United player. Maybe he will be in the few weeks if they talk to him and convince him to stay. But he's not a Man United player. So I think the United will sign Onana. So if you've got Onana in between the sticks, no change in the back line, then you've got Mason Mount playing alongside Casemiro, then Bruno Fernandes, then up front you've got Rasmus Højlund, Antony, and Marcus Rashford on the wings. That's a slightly improving team, and obviously Onana and Mason Mount would give it a lot of the Ten Hag identity. They would change a lot, and that's why probably Ten Hag wanted so much to sign Mount, to give the team his identity in a way. Whereas Bruno Fernandes is good and is a better, midfield and all, Ten Hag wants to play football going forward. That's why he perhaps did not prioritize so much a holding midfielder, because he wants to play football going forward. He's still relying on Casemiro. And we are saying it's okay, Casemiro is there, but when he gets sick, what happens? So you need a backup plan. You need a backup plan, because if Casemiro is not there, United struggles a lot. So I get what Ten Hag is trying to do, and I was trying so much to critically think about it and make sense of it, that he's trying to give the team his identity, and Onana would change it a lot. Onana would solve a lot for him. But at the end of it all, you need a striker who is world class. Now, that's where again the big problems will come. So that's why he's buying time. He's buying time to raise the money and funds. And by the way, whereas this window has been a dragging and full of a lot of speculation, it might actually surprise us and turn out to be so successful, depending on how soon we get done with it. Because the teams we are competing with, Arsenal, are getting done with their business. I think they are nearly done. I think Julian Timber is done as well. They are nearly done with their business. So Man City don't have a lot of things to change. They know what they want and they're nearly done. Chelsea, you don't know what team to expect, and for me that's where Chelsea is still a threat. They have got a brilliant gaffer, so many young players. They're as if rebuilding, but you don't know what to expect. We know Pochettino wants fit players, and when his players are fully fit 100%, they will run any team down. You saw Spurs at their peak; they would run any team down. So, and that's why he's recruiting a lot of young players. Nicholas Jackson, name them, Nkuku. So he wants fit players to come and run. That's why they are letting go of all the experienced players. So I think the idea is to rebuild the team and give it a different identity. But you don't know what they will be next season. So again, that unpredictability might work in their favor. So United has got to spend time with all these players if they are going to tick the boxes. But the midfield battles for me are key, more so looking at Arsenal and Man City. Yes, the identity of Ten Hag might be there, but how good will it be competing with Man City and Arsenal? That again for me is the multi-million-dollar question, or the 60 million pounds question, because that's how much they are buying Mason Mount. So we hope he will climb that mountain and again try to contribute to building the Holy Grail that has been lacking since the years of Sir Alex Ferguson. Senoga Ramanzan saying United you need back. I don't know what that is. United you need back. I didn't get that. Maybe you can repost Senoga and make it more clear. But guys, go on and subscribe. Again, I do remind you to go on and subscribe as we talk Manchester United now, and of course what's happening with the biggest football club in the world. Updates are still coming. Of course, someone is asking me, why are we not selling players? Someone is asking me that question. Why? Like I said, first of all, the players we have are not attractive. We should acknowledge that. We should accept that if we are going to sell any of the players we have, we need to vend these players. If you've got what example can I use? If you want to sell your used clothes, and you're not the fashionista of the best fashionista of town, but you need money, you want to sell your used clothes. No one is going to come running to you because they are not the best clothes. They are out of fashion and all. You've got to be a good salesperson or hire a good salesperson to vend your clothes for you. Go out there and look for the buyers and convince them how these clothes are vintage, how they are the best, how they are original. They were original, even if they are not the coolest now, but because just find ways of selling them. That's what we call vending. Now United is in that situation. We've got bad clothes that we are selling, used clothes that are not attractive to anyone. They are out of fashion. Now we need to sell them urgently so that we buy the in-fashion clothes. But we are still seated waiting for people to come and try to purchase and inquire about the prices and all. Instead of us going there to these clubs, to Saudi Arabia, where we know there is a ready market, vend these clothes, vend these players. That's what we should be doing. Vend these players, because right now the priority for Manchester United is to raise funds to buy the right players. The only way to raise the funds now, as it seems, is to sell. So what do? Find ways of selling your players. I don't think if these guys walk up to find buyers, they would fail, because the players are not so expensive. So for me, that's what I think. We need to sell. Ebonila, ever since we have failed to know Scotty's real position in the pitch, Scott McTominay is all over the place. Well, each team always has that player who you won't define. I think McTominay is one of those because I mean United with Sir Alex Ferguson had John O'Shea. I think Phil Jones as well would play almost everywhere if you throw him. But John O'Shea I think was the most industrious of players. So such players always are not the best. They are never world class, but they are okay. They will come in and do the job well. And you need such a player. But McTominay still doesn't again cut it right for me when it comes to that. So for me, McTominay is not really ready. He's not ready. He's not a typical Man United player. For me, he's not. He should be leaving the club because he's not world. He doesn't have a world class mentality. He doesn't have a Manchester United mentality, and that's what Ten Hag wants. And I was saying this before, that for me the problem at United has always been, since Ten Hag came in, what I saw, the problem was that the coach's standards were way above most of the players he had. So it's his job now to recruit players who meet his standards and expectations, and that's what he's doing. The only disquiet is how he's doing it. If he's doing it disrespecting legends, then we might pick a bond with him, because unlike him, for us, we are fans of the club and we respect our legends. Yes, we want him to make the club win, but also respect our legends. The legends he found there. Treat them humanly. Yeah? You don't just come because yes, you're a great manager and just disrespect the legend out of everyone. So no, it's not right. But that's the case. So United seem to be so interested. Probably they are listening. They seem to want to vend Fred first for £20 million to Fulham. That report is, I think, emerging a lot. But also the Feyenoord goalkeeper report, Justin Bijlow, is also, I think, emerging a lot. So let's follow it closely. It could be true. But I think, again, even if United sign Bijlow, I think they would still go for Onana. I think Bijlow would come in as a number 2 because they need 2 goalkeepers. You can't just play with 1 goalkeeper. So that's a bit of the situation at Manchester United. Of course, you can go ahead and give me your opinion about everything. There's a gentleman here who has hit my inbox. Abuaka Bokum +224. I wonder which country this is. I wonder which country. It should be in West Africa. He has sent me a nice photo here of Mason Mount in a Manchester United jersey. He's saying, "Salute! I salute you indeed too." There, but yeah, yeah, that's where we are. That's where we are. United still trying to make sense of everything at Manchester United. Yes, subscribe, guys. Subscribe. But the latest reports coming from Italy is that Højlund's bid has been rejected. Let's see how serious those reports are. Let's not undermine them, because Højlund is a player we are interested in, and I'm sure I will sign him. Really, I'm sure I will sign him. I wonder whether he will make us competitive enough to go on and beat Man City and Arsenal, who are looking to improve a lot. But let's wait and see how that will go. So that's where Manchester United is now. The preseason is coming soon. Are you excited about it? Is it exciting? We'll always be excited about the preseason. I feel like this is one we are going to follow so closely, I think more than all the others, because of what has happened before. Of course, someone is asking me about the Takeover update. The Takeover update will request not so much from what we already know. Sheikh Jassim and his team celebrating. I think they now clearly see that they are the ones taking over the club. There is nothing really much to really discuss about the takeover. No major significant update. Maybe I can try to see the share price of Manchester United for you one more time. The Manchester United share price, it has gone down today. It's at 24.38 US dollars. That's the price of a share, gone down about 0.77%. So yeah, not so much really. When there's much to talk about, that's on the New York Stock Exchange, by the way. So but when there's much to talk about, it goes high exponentially. It goes high. So there's not so much when it comes to the takeover. But Sheikh Jassim, we all know, will be taking over the club when the Glazers know best. But whenever it is, whatever time it will be, we will be here and happy to welcome Sheikh Jassim and see him take over the Althani Devils. So yeah, that's where we are. Someone is also asking me here in WhatsApp. By the way, the WhatsApp number is also there. You can make use of it. Someone is asking, what do you think Sheikh Jassim should change first the moment he takes over Manchester United? Well, I think for me, first of all, it's overhauling the management of the team. Richard Arnold and John Mata, Darren Fletcher, he played for the club, but all those, I think, should go. That's what I think. I think they should go. Then the other thing is, of course, when you changes those, then the new management should certainly come in and try to make Old Trafford cool, and attractive, to modernize the stadium again. I do think that is another important thing for me. That's what I think. So I think that's the key areas for me. As the owner, I think we don't expect him to directly impact on the playing, but we expect him to create conditions that will ensure the playing is good. That is by investing in facilities. So invest in Old Trafford. That's the whole facility. Let's have a modern facility, a modern gym. Carrington should look modern. Have dormitories and everything. Modernize everything. Then the Old Trafford itself should look nice and attractive again. To be able to host big games at this level, should not be leaking. We are having, I think, it's the Sir Bobby Charlton stand that is leaking. Shouldn't be happening. So we should those are the things we should do first. But all that after overhauling the management or the administration of the team should be overhauled completely and make us, well managed again, because clearly Manchester United is poorly managed. I've got 2 minutes to wind up, but guys, I do thank you. Takeover process is at what stage now? It's at the document stage. They are looking at paperwork and documents, but as it is, everything happening now is a formality. But the Glazers have bowed out. I think they first wanted to cool the fire as they go about the final business, and then proceed and announce Sheikh Jassim as the new owner of the club. But the celebrations are on. If you don't know so much about Sheikh Jassim, visit these videos. Go play back the old videos I've posted, because I've given you a lot of information about Sheikh Jassim. Even yesterday, I think one of the videos I posted was about Sheikh Jassim and who he is and all. So guys, go on and enjoy those videos, and let's see how what you think. And as we expect, we continue to anticipate how United will be with that new much wanted owner. But I think that's it for now. I think that's my time, guys. I think it's been 1 hour of amazing stories concerning Manchester United. Tomorrow, of course, we're sure there will be more news for you. But after this transfer talk and speculation is done, we will then start dissecting the club, Manchester United, before the season starts. Position per position, player per player. I do want to try and match Manchester United players with the teams we should be competing with. Liverpool is going about their business silently, and that's our biggest rival. Liverpool is going about their business steadily and silently, and it's dangerous. It's a dangerous thing. Watch out for Liverpool, guys. Watch out for Liverpool. So that's the situation. Yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you so much. Go, of course, Onana calling more incoming players for United. More incoming player for United. Yes, the United will sign a goalkeeper and a striker. I think that's a given. Ebonila, okay, maybe they may announce when. I think they will announce in a couple of weeks, to be honest. I think they will announce before the end of August. I think we shall know the owner of Manchester United. Oh, let me put it right. I think before the end of August, the Glazers will confirm Sheikh Jassim as the new owner of Manchester United. That's what I think. I think that's it, guys. Thank you so much. It's exactly 10:45. We started at 9:45. It's always good to know when you need to leave, guys. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Subscribe to the hotspot. Let's be back again tomorrow. If there is breaking news, I'll break it again for you. I'll be back before you retire. But for now, guys, have a nice evening, a nice morning if you're just waking up from wherever you are, regardless where you are. People in West Africa, people in Europe, in the United States, people in East Africa, wherever you are watching the hotspot. Thank you so much, guys. We are here every day. Of course, certain days are different, some days are different and tricky, but just know you've got to hear the news from me each and every day concerning Manchester United. All other clubs are about their business. Sheikh Fabregas has retired today. Today, by the way, was Alejandro Garnacho's birthday. He turned 19, the Wonder Kid. That's the future star at United. So, how did I forget to sing Happy Birthday, Ghana? Happy birthday, Garnacho. Happy birthday, dear Garnacho. Happy birthday to you. Bye bye. Subscribe. Good night. Love you all.